Hi, it's Annie, and I have another seaweed lesson, number 2. And this one, you're going to be working with the Holdfast, and we're using a rock. And find a rock that's got a good little heft to it. And we're going to set it near where your feet are going to be on the floor. Okay. And go ahead and get down on the floor, and we're going to get started. You're going to lie on your back and put your right foot on the rock. Okay. And with that right foot on the rock, this is called what I'm calling a holdfast, where the seaweed actually comes in contact with a rock and it grows this little anchor around the rock. And right now your foot is resting on the rock, and go ahead and lift your foot off the rock and then come back gently, floating down like you're in the water and landing gently, floating on the rock so that you feel that it can relax on this rock. That's our hold fast. Your arms, in a moment, the tide is going to come in and your arms are going to float upward toward the surface of the water. As the water comes in, your arms float up, and we're going to become kelp here today. And it's this wonderful, relaxing feeling of floating. And then let your arms float down as the tide goes out slowly. Float your arms down. Just let the water bring them down. And just waiting for the next tide to come in. The water comes in, and slowly your arms start to be pushed up by the water, lifting your arms up toward the ceiling. And then once they're up there, there's a gentle current moving your arms to one side and then slowly to the other. And your knees can move too, but keep that right foot on the rock. Yeah. That's your hold fast. So you're tethered or kept to the floor by that right foot holding the rock, as your arms are drifting with the movement of this imaginary water. This current is pushing you a little, the arms side to side, and your whole body can move with that. And then let's take your foot off the rock, move the rock away a little bit and slide your legs down. Bring your arms down and rest, and feel the contact of your whole body now with this floor. And the ocean, the bottom of the ocean is called a floor, which is amazing because here we are on the floor, and we can imagine that we're just resting at the bottom and waiting for the tide to come in again. So let's bend your knees, and now put the rock under the left foot, the other foot. And so it's right in the arch area. And just lift your knee a little bit and then slowly bring it down, let it float down to contact that rock so that your foot's very relaxed on the rock, so that in nature, the algae is actually growing around and inside little crevices around the rock to hold itself to the bottom of the ocean, to the floor. Fascinating, isn't it? So there you are with your foot on the rock. And now the tide comes in, and slowly the water lifts your arms, lifting up toward the ceiling. And stay lifted. And now let your arms go a little bit side to side. And easy breathing and feeling your bones touching the floor, the bones that are leaning into the floor as the tide is moving your arms. Just like the kelp, these arms would be called the blades. Instead of leaves, they're called blades, and they're moving with the current. And then let the water go out again. The tide goes out and the arms float down, down, down. And just stay here for a moment. We're going to wait for the tide to come again. And as it does this next time, your arms will be lifted by the water and they'll float up from the water, pushing the arms up, and then the knee and the foot come up so that you lift your leg and your arms. All are floating now, and then the current moves them a little side to side, but you stay connected with your left foot on the rock. Yeah. So your arm and leg are moving side to side to side in the water, and then bring everything back down. Move the rock away and rest your legs and feel the contact now with the floor. Can you roll your head and let your whole body now stop and rest? Just stop the movement. And is it quieter now? Do you feel calmer? Is it just a little more peaceful? Now slowly, let's roll to your side. And we're going to come up to sitting. Yeah. So now that you're sitting, just stay here for a moment, and maybe you can sway a little bit on your butt, you know, like your upper body moves a little. And then how could you float yourself up to standing? Can you let your body find a way, like move your legs so that you can take one foot back maybe and come onto your knees? Yeah. And just feel, how would you float up to standing? All right. So once you're standing, you can walk around and just see how it is to move. Does it feel a little floatier, a little lighter? And then also, can you feel your feet on the ground? Can you feel that connection to the floor? Thanks so much for joining me. I love sharing this work with you of Feldenkrais and nature. It's a type of awareness through movement, connecting with nature. So thanks. And if you'd like more information, you can check out my website, but I will see you next lesson. Take care. Here's a fine example of a kelp bed serving the seagull here.